Let's start by talking about some financial quote unquote gurus, Dave Ramsey and Suze Orman in particular. To their credit, they've helped many Americans when it comes to erasing debt and becoming more financially independent. But financial author David McKnight calls their approach to income planning a little different, more of a paint by numbers approach. He says a lot of their advice is, quote, outdated and one size fits all. Now, I know that is not the case at America's Retirement Headquarters. It's no cookie cutter approach. Let's talk about how your approach to retirement income planning is a little different.
I think our approach to retirement income planning is a little bit different. I would say, though, that I give, both Dave Ramsey and Suze Orman a lot of credit for a lot of the good advice that they give. I can think, younger into my career, I actually had went through Dave Ramsey's program. And, one of the things that jumped out to me is the snowball effect of paying off the debts that you have. Mm-hmm. Years later, I can say, I don't have a car payment. I don't have credit card debt. I have my mortgage paid off. Before my kids went to college. So I got some really good advice. A lot of the people who've been listening for a while, you may remember that, in the Toledo Free Press for 8 years, we wrote the weekend financial column in the Toledo Free Press. And, also had an opportunity to interview Suze Orman for one of the Free Press articles. And also she had some good advice. Chaz, I think what's hard here is when you think about it, they're talking to the masses, if you will. Right. So they're going to give out, I think, some really good advice, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. One of the things that I like to think about us here at America's Retirement Headquarters is, we take a little bit more of a customized approach versus, what you would refer to as a paint by the numbers or that cookie cutter type of an approach. Mm-hmm. In developing an approach and making things a little bit different when it comes to income planning.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, too, I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. I was actually a Dave Ramsey coach when took a couple, about 10 or 15 people through a church program that, they taught financial readiness through the Ramsey program. So, yeah, I do think there's a huge advantage to doing that for things like getting out of debt and building a strong foundation. I do think some of those concepts can be cookie cutter and work because it's kind of the same premise for budgeting is you have to spend less than what you're making, so that's pretty universal, but definitely retirement income planning is more personal and it's definitely something that's based more on your experiences, your expenses, healthcare costs, your prospects for Social Security. There's no in your debt situation and tax situation, so there's no way that Dave could know that. And so what we really start with, what I start with as a financial planner is just trying to identify where clients have income gaps. I've talked about that in the past. Income gaps in retirement would be years where there's less coming in than what's going out. And once we can identify that, where those gaps are and for how long they're going to last, we can kind of back into some of the investment strategies and let the investments, we let the investments dictate. We're not letting the investments dictate what we can spend. We're telling the investments what they can do because we're identifying a certain amount of money that's going to be there when it needs to be. And so, we're a little bit more customized and specific when it comes to what clients are spending. I think that's a big takeaway from our independent income system.
Yeah, I do think, how our approach to income planning is different is, again, that process that we call the independent income system. If you want to watch more on Google, you can type in the independent income system on Google and see a different video that talks about, the threats and opportunities facing retirees. But what we do is we create the buckets of money that are designed for different time frames. Again, looking at people that are just close to or in retirement time, having a bucket of money that's designed for reliable income. As Chaz mentioned, looking at making sure that we fill up the gaps to get enough reliable income to cover the minimum monthly income needs. We look at a bucket of money that's designed to give you a pay raise in the future. That way, if and when things get more expensive, if there's a cut in Social Security, you have an account that you can turn to. In the long-term growth bucket of money, utilizing things like equity-type investment strategies, looking at, trying to go direct to the market to pick out quality investments. And when you have those first couple of buckets, it gives you the ability where you can be more of a long-term investor with your equities. Last, having a bucket of money that's designed to cover different what ifs or emergencies that come up in life. Developing then a plan that gives a purpose to each one of your financial accounts, then protecting that overall plan with developing a strategy that's designed to protect you in the event you have some type of healthcare crisis. Of course, we do that with our company, America's Medicare Associates, all the way down to then ultimately planning your estate, looking at anything like how to address the issue of a premature death for life insurance and legacy planning, to passing on, more money to your loved ones if there's money left over. So that is how our approach is different to income planning. Again, it's called the independent income system.
And again, it's a customized approach as opposed to, and this is by no means, taking shots at Dave Ramsey or the Suze Ormans out there, but they're designed to have their advice cover as many people as possible. But when it comes to retirement planning and income planning, you definitely want something that is more custom tailored and suited for you specifically, and that is what you get at America's Retirement Headquarters. So, as Nolan mentioned, Google the independent income system, check out that video, and then just go and open another tab. Set your website to arhq.com. Begin that process. Set up a time to speak with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters, or you can also give a call. It's 419-794-3030.